Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to our second engineering seminar. I'm not sure if there's anybody out there. It's a little tricky to tell. My name is Chris Billias. I'm with Bristol Studios. And this is our online seminar. You know, because of COVID, we always used to do seminars. And we always used to do seminars at our studio. But now since we can't have anybody there, we're doing them online. So this is the second in our series. And this one is for making music in GarageBand and also its cousin, Logic. And hey, if anybody's actually been to any of these seminars, could you maybe say hello and just put something down in the comments so I know there's somebody here? It's always a little tricky, like I say. Anyway, I'm just going to go on. And so, yeah, we always used to have seminars at the old space, and now we're doing them here online. And we're covering a variety of topics, you know, what we feel people might need help on. And I was thinking that a lot of people have software, and they don't even know that they have it, that they can use it, what it's capable of. Okay, and by that I mean that everyone who owns a Mac has a program called GarageBand. And GarageBand is pretty powerful. It's in all your iPhones, it's in your iPads, and it's in every laptop and Mac kind of desktop computer. And there's a lot you can do with it. So, you know, you might want to try some things. Maybe you're a singer, or maybe you're someone who plays an instrument and you just want to record something, you know, get yourself out there. You can actually do some really high quality stuff. There are a lot of not a lot of producers, but we know quite a few who use it to some extent in production. So, you know, it's a very viable option. You know, we're going to be going over a couple of different things here. And if you want, you know, if there's something you don't understand, we're going to have this posted so you can repeat and view it as many times as you want. Also, at the end of it, we're going to have question and answers. So if there's anything, you know, with the content that you might not have quite understood or need, you know, clarification on, we can help you out with that. And also, you know, if you have any questions on further training, because, you know, one of the things we do at the studio is we teach people how to run software and how to become engineers, producers, you know, musicality, all of those type of things. So if you have any interest in that sort of thing, let us know, and we can talk about it at the end of the session. So, I should mention that the owner of the studio, Rick Poulin, is going to be online answering any questions you might have, even as this goes on. You know, as we talk concurrently, you can ask questions and get them answered right on the spot if you can't wait till the end. So there you go. All right, good. So this is what I had in mind. You know, a lot of people have GarageBand, as I mentioned, and so what we're going to do is show you how to open the program, show you how, you know, one of the basic things it can do is you can record yourself to a track. Okay, so a track is like an instrumental. If you're a hip-hop artist, you get a beat and you download it from YouTube. If you're a singer or if you're an instrumentalist, you get a instrumental track, basically without the vocals. And we'll download that. And I'm going to show you how to do that with another program that is not GarageBand, but it's free and works really great. That's called Media Human YouTube to MP3 Converter. So I'm going to show you where to get that, how to download a song, how to put it into Logic or GarageBand, and you know, to put that in so you can record to it. And then after that, I'm going to show you how to maybe some ideas on how to mix and get a final product that you can share with the world so you can let people hear what you're up to. So that's kind of what we try and do here. So let's see. So as far as before we start, there are a couple of things we want to do. You want to have your computer, and you also want to have, in case of a singer, you want to have a microphone, okay? But there's no place to plug a microphone into a computer directly. Okay, so there's no plug for it. So what we need is what we call an audio interface, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Some will handle one microphone, some will handle 10 or 16. It depends on what you're doing. If you're recording a band, you get a big one, but we don't need that. You just need simple, simple, simple. Okay, so here's a pretty simple one. This is called an M-Box, and basically we have a volume control here, so we can listen to our song when we're all done. And in the back here, we can plug in our microphone. And if you're a guitar player, you can plug in your guitars over here. And this one has 2 channels, so you can do 2 things at the same time. Okay, so you can play guitar and you could actually sing at the same time if you wanted to. Up front here, and this is pretty important to know. These are the volume controls for the microphone. So basically, what goes on is, here's your microphone. Here's a microphone cable. This is called an XLR cable. Oh, there we go. It has 3 pins on it that will fit into this microphone. They're all pretty much the same. So we'll plug that in like so. Bam. And then in the back of the interface, I'm going to plug the other end of the cable. Okay? And we'll get that like so. Okay, so we have our mic plugged in. And now the signal from the microphone goes into the interface. The interface connects to the computer with a USB cable. There's USB A to USB B type, just like a printer cable. Okay, so we'll plug that in here and then into one of the USB ports on your computer. You should be all set. So what happens is you talk in here, you set the volume of the signal going into the computer here. Oops, you gotta see that with this knob here. Okay, and that's kind of the hard thing. You do that, and now the signal goes in, and you're all set to start recording. So that's what we need in the way of hardware. I should mention 2 other things. There are things called USB microphones. It's the microphone that actually has the USB cable on the end of it. It's a special thing. They're getting better and better. They're usually using them in podcasts. I still think that a separate microphone and an interface might work out better for you, be a little better quality. But by all means, if you happen to have access to a USB microphone, give it a go. It'll work fine. The other thing too, because of everybody staying at home, we've been doing a thing now where we have people will record their voice and send it to us, send the file, so then like I can work on the song and produce it and work with those vocals. So you record your part at home, send it on over, and then we can mix and work with that too. So that's an option. And what I meant to say is sometimes people don't have that set up, but if you have a laptop, I've gotten some great results. People singing right into the microphone on the laptop. And what you do is you put on headphones so that you don't hear the music playing as you're singing. You just want to get the music, all alone. And, actually your voice all alone, the vocal, the thing you're recording, and then send that on out. And the microphone in the Mac is, works pretty well. If you're in a nice room without a lot of echoes, we talked about that a little bit the last seminar. How to put stuff and blankets basically up on your walls and try and get away from anything that's really bouncing the sound around. You can get a really good recording right at home. So some people have been doing that. And so that's the setup you need. We're going to assume that you have GarageBand because it comes with every Mac. Logic is the other brother of it. Okay, and just to do a quick comparison, here is a picture of, this is my desktop, and this is Logic. And you can see over here we have a place for tracks and down here we have these, it's really nice. They make these big graphics with big knobs that you can move around and see everything very clearly. Sometimes when you start looking at some of the plugins, it looks confusing. This makes it very simple. You know, they take the most important things, put them right there for you. So Logic looks like this. If I flip over to here, here's GarageBand. GarageBand, actually this one has tracks in it up here, these brownish orange, I guess, colors here. These are tracks, but you can see it's the same type of setup. You know, this one's silver. It's got a little different plugins, and plugins are what we use to modify the sound. We're going to talk a lot more about that when we get into the mixing portion of things, but yeah, just to look between the two softwares, you can see that, you know, here is GarageBand, and once again here's Logic, and they look almost identical. They're made obviously by the same company, and Logic is the big brother of GarageBand. Okay, so we have that. Now, as I said, what we want to do tonight is download a track from, say, YouTube, an instrumental. So the instrumental does not have any vocals, might have some background vocals or something like that in it. But we're going to download that, and then we're going to show you how to put that into the software, okay, so you can record over it. And then, so let's do that. So in order to start this, I'm going to use a program to get the song from YouTube to my computer. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do this. There are a lot of services online where you do it online and you can get the track. But I like to be in control of my own stuff. You know, I like to have it all on my desktop, on my computer. And so this one here is YouTube to MP3 converter. So I'm going to pull up, here's a card of what it looks like. Okay, this is the website. It's made by a company called Media Human. And I'm going to just do that here. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on the download button. Okay, and then what's going to happen is once we download it, let me show you over here. There it is here. We're just going to, you know, download now. Click on that, and it'll show up here on the bottom. And what happens is it goes to our download folder. Okay, so that is going to be on the Mac. And I'm going to hide this for a minute just to get that out of the way and get GarageBand out of the way. Here's my computer. I click here, and I go to my downloads folder, which is right here. I hope that's big enough for everyone to see. So we go to MediaHuman.com. We click on YouTube to MP3 converter. We download it. Then we see it here in the downloads folder, YouTube to MP3. We click on that for a minute, and that will install it. We just, these installers, you know, I never knew this. I always thought you had to drag this to the applications folder and hold it up. All you really have to do is just drag it right to this folder here, and it will put it in there for you. Now I already have it there, so now we can go here to our applications folder, okay, in the Mac, and it will be down the bottom, YouTube to MP3 application. So, you know, I use this all the time, and just, you know, you probably know this already, but I like to keep these things on the dock, so I just kind of drag it down here, and it's there all the time for me. You can see I already have mine right here. See there? Kind of playing together. So there they are right there. So that is YouTube to MP3 converter. So we open that up, and we'll have that sitting there. There it is right there. And now we're going to go to YouTube. Okay, we're going to pick out our song. So I'm going to close this up for a minute, and we'll go back to Google Chrome. Where's my Chrome? Here we go. And right here, I'm going to, I actually saw John Legend did this the other night. It was pretty neat. So stand by me, okay? Real nice mellow guitar, piano track. And say like, yeah, I like that. I could sing to that and I could do a great job. So what we do is we just have that. We grab our MP3 converter. Where did I put it? A lot of things open here. Let's see. Always the way. Okay, MP3 converter. Should be right there. There it is. Okay, so view. Okay, oh, sorry, it's over on my other screen. Give me a second. Okay, it's the history on it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that is what YouTube Converter looks like. And basically, it's very simple. Once you get it open, it's very simple to use. You can paste the link here. So here we have my song open in YouTube, and you can do this to any song, anything, you know, with vocals on it, and you can download and turn it into an MP3. And basically all you have to do is click this plus button, and it will take it and download it for you. Sometimes it will give you, oh, I see what's going on. Yes, sometimes if it doesn't work like that, it will let you drag it in. Okay, basic tutorials. So stand by me. There we go. So we drag it in and we hit the download button right here, this arrow. And with the arrow, we click on it, and then stand by me will download. Once we get that, we hit our magnifying glass here, and it will show us where it is in the downloads folder. And so I'm going to go over here, open it up, downloads, and stand by me will be here. Now I actually already did this earlier today, so I would have it so we wouldn't have to wait. And it's right here. So here is my stand by me. Okay, good. Let me just kind of, so it's right here now. So there's the file. We finally got that there. And so now what we want to do is put it into Logic. So in Logic, we want to go in, open it up, go to Applications, and in here we'll find our Logic project, Logic Pro, or GarageBand, and it'll open up something like this. So now we want to take Stand By Me and put it in there. So all we have to do is grab the track that we downloaded and drag it in. And voila. It will import itself. There we go. Good. You might want to just kind of make sure it goes all the way over. Sometimes it might be not quite all the way to the left-hand side. So we do that, and here's our piano track from YouTube. So once again, we go and we have Media Human, YouTube to MP3 converter. We just open that up. We go to YouTube. We find the track we want. We click on the plus sign in YouTube converter, and then we download it. Hit the magnifying glass, find the track, and then just drag it in here. And so there's our music that we can record to. Okay, now this is just one little example of how to do that. So we've got that. So now what we want to do is we want to make a track to record to. Okay, and that's easily done. Up here, there is a little plus button that you can see. And what we do is we click on that to make a new track. And we want to have an audio track, so we just select audio and then go create. And just like that, the microphone is routed to the track. You can see this little green here. So this is me. I'm going to get a little closer, and you can see that the signal is going in there. You'll also notice this one up on top. This is so you can hear me through this seminar, through YouTube. But down here, here's our microphone for our vocal. And I have it set. The one thing that you can mess up here, and my voice is going to get real quiet. Remember I told you about this volume knob, okay? So the problem that happens is you want to have your volume going in here loud enough so that it is pretty much filling up the green here. If you get too loud, you can see how it's going yellow there, and it's probably distorting a little bit in YouTube here. I apologize for that. But that's what you want to do, is just set that volume level so it's just under that yellow line where it starts distorting, and that will work out well for you. So now we have that going through, and we can see the signal. Now we want to hear it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what they call arm the track. So see the little red box here with the R in it? That stands for record. And the I allows us to hear it through the speakers. Okay? And so now I can hear that, and the track's ready to go. And what we want to do is these things here, these are what they call faders, and they control the volume. So like when we put our music track in here, right, if we hit play, even though it's a soft piano part, it's pretty loud. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to turn this down about halfway, just so you can hear yourself well when you're recording. Once you're done recording everything, you can change the levels between everything, and you can change the levels and it'll be okay. Actually, hang on one second. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's say we have this. And now I want to record, okay? So I have my music track in here. I have the volume turned down. I have my microphone plugged in. I turn the volume up on it, on the interface here, so it's at a good level. And so I'm pretty much ready to record. So what I'm going to do is up here, there's a red button. And I'm just going to click on that. And now we're recording. The only thing we need is someone who can really sing, because that's not me. But you might want to say, okay, we're going, here we go. 1, 2. When the night has come and the land is dark. We'll do like a movie theater. And the moon is the only light you'll see. Okay, so I'm being kind of silly here because, like I say, I'm not really a singer. But you can see that got recorded. And now we're recording. Okay. The only thing we need is someone who can really sing. We don't want to hear that stuff, but when the night has come and the land is dark. We'll do like a movie theater. And the moon is the only light you'll see. Now, actually, as I listen back to that, that was recorded kind of quietly. And part of it is, too, where I am on the microphone. I'm kind of moving around, and I'm talking, and I'm looking this way, and I'm looking that way. When you sing, you want to be focused, straight on your microphone, about 6 inches away. A good hand width like that away, and just stay focused on it. You also want to have some kind of like a pop filter to get rid of the P's, the pop, that kind of thing. So that's probably another reason why that didn't come out so well, but let's face it, the reason why it didn't come out so well is I'm not a very good singer. So what we're going to do is we're going to move to another track, okay? And I'm going to show you this. This was actually created and recorded on an iPad using GarageBand. Okay, so they actually created the music and recorded the vocal, and then we're going to listen to it and mix it well, we're going to do this in Logic so you guys can hear this okay. Okay, so I'm going to hide these tracks here, and now I'm going to go back to Logic. There we go. Sorry, I'm going to do that like this and hide that one. And now we're going to go through the same process. I'm going to grab this, and this time I'm going to take the music. You can see it right here on my computer screen. This is the music that they created, and drag that in. And then here are the vocals that were recorded also in GarageBand. I'm going to just, and this is so easy, right? I'm just dropping it at the bottom of the screen here where there is basically nothing, and the program knows enough to make a track for me. So it kind of takes care of all that good stuff for us. So now we're actually ready to go. So just like before, we're going to take this and we're going to turn it down so we can hear the vocal. And let's just have a little listen to this.
Nobody ever loved me like she do. She do. Yes, she does. And if somebody loved me like she loved me, she loves me. Yes, she does. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
Okay, good. So how's it sound? You know, not bad. Not bad. The vocal sounds a little far away, right? It could be more fuller and more upfront, as we say in the mix. It feels a little dry. So let's see what we can do to make this sound a little better and start mixing. So let's go, and now both Logic and GarageBand have what they call presets. Okay, here's actually GarageBand here, and the same tracks are here as over here. Actually, I'm going to keep it in Logic. And what they have is a library over here on the left. Now, to get to the library, if it's not open, you go to the top left-hand corner of the screen. You see that box here kind of underneath the red dot? You click on that. And that opens the library. And what they've done for you is they've put together these packages of effects that pertain to different styles that'll make your music sound better. So here, for instance, we have the vocal. So I'm going to click on the vocal so that that's highlighted. See how it's white, and this part here, the track header, is also white. And so this is a vocal. So over here on the left, I'm hoping you can see this okay. Yeah, there is a category called voice. Okay, and when I click on voice, I see all these pop up: bright vocal, a classic vocal, compressed, narration, telephone vocal, two vocal. You know, all kinds of different choices there. Some experimental ones. Here, I kind of like just the basic classic vocal. And now what I'm going to do here too is I just want to hear the voice now for a minute. I really want to focus on that. Okay, so if I'm playing both things, the guitar is a little bit in the way right now. So right over here on the track is the letter M and another one S. And the R, once again, was for recording. If we were going to record, we would turn on the R. But right now, what I want to do is I want to mute this guitar track so I can really hear the voice. So I'm just going to click on that. It turns blue. You can see this grays out. So now we just have the voice playing.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me, she loves me. Yes, she does.
Okay, so that's what this sounds like with the effects. If I take them off again, play that little section again.
Somebody love me like she loved me. She loves me.
And now with it, and you can hear all kinds of different things going on. It sounds more up front, it's a little bit brighter, and it has a little bit of what we call reverb on it. We're going to listen to each of those things one at a time.
And if somebody love me like she loved me.
Okay, so that's the classic vocal preset. Just to show you, they go crazy here. You know, we could try the helium vocal. Sorry about that, Rick. Now, a lot of hip hop artists use that type of thing where they kind of, you know, get this really high pitch thing, or we could make it more kind of crazy.
And if somebody love me like she love me.
So you can see there's a lot you can do with effects. But this is, you know, we want to kind of keep this straight ahead. So we're going to choose just this, I think, the classic vocal. Now, you'll notice this blue box down here. And this comes up when you hit this knob here. And once again, it's Apple's way of just making everything really easy. You know, if you looked at all the individual effects going on there, it might get a little overwhelming. It's like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what to turn. So here, it's kind of broken up for you. So we have this dynamics has to do with volume, okay? And I'm going to actually turn off these other pieces here so we can check things one at a time, okay? So here is the compressor, okay? And what a compressor is going to do is take the louder parts of the song and just bring them down a little bit so that they're more in line with the quieter parts. So it's not like the loud things are up here and the quiet ones are down here. They're closer together. So what that does for us is allows us to turn everything up a little bit louder overall so it doesn't distort. Make sense? So you're going to take the loud stuff, bring it down, so then you can bring the whole thing up again because it's more contained. Okay, it won't break out and get too loud. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at these lights here.
Nobody ever loved me like she do.
Actually, I'm going to go up here. And what I'm doing is see this white line is called the cursor. And shows us where we are in the song. Now, when I play, oh yeah, I've been playing this. I just hit the space bar. And it plays.
And if somebody loved me.
Hit the space bar, it stops. If I click up here by the numbers.
Don't let me down.
I can jump around into different parts of the song.
Don't let me down.
And the nice thing I can do too here too is if I click and drag up in the numbers, I can do what they call loop a section. So I can play it over and over again so I can get it, you know, sounding just the way I want. So I picked this because see how the waveform here, this is the voice, right? As you probably figured out. And when it's fatter, like when the track is fatter, like right there, oops, right here, it's a little bit louder. So I'm going to go to that louder section.
Don't let me down.
And that's actually pretty good. I'm going to try and turn this knob up now. And when you see the lights coming on, that means it's lowering the volume just a little bit.
Don't let me down.
Okay, so there we got a little bit of action there. There it comes again.
Don't let me down.
Okay, so that's with it. Very, very subtle stuff here.
Don't let me down.
That's with it. If I take it out.
Don't let me down.
Okay, so I heard a little difference. Now I'm going to really turn it up, see what that sounds like.
Don't let me down.
That's pretty good. So once again, that's the compressor working to even out each word that he's singing. Don't let me down. Okay, and so we have that, kind of even out the volumes. Okay, good. So now that is called a compressor. Okay, so we're compressing the sound, so we can turn it up and hear it better. Now we have what they call an EQ. And the EQ basically will take the voice and boost the lower parts of it, the bass in it, the mid-range, and then the high end. So we'll hear what that sounds like. So here's our low frequency. Probably not going to hear a lot of difference here because the vocal doesn't go that low.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me,
Very subtle.
and if somebody loved me like she loved me,
But here in the mid-range, if we turn this up,
and if somebody loved me like she loved me, and if somebody loved me,
kind of that frequency there. Whoops.
and if somebody loved me like she loved me.
So that's kind of in the middle, the mid-range, as they call it, the mid-frequency. And that's where, like, the presence is. That's where you can really hear the words better.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me.
And now I'm going to move that around a little bit as it plays.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me. And if somebody loved me like she loved
Now
me.
if I go lower,
And if somebody loved me like she loved me.
There we go.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me.
See, so it's much more present when we have a little bit of that mid-range boost in there. And now here on the high end.
And if somebody loved, and if somebody loved, and if somebody.
If you listen to the word "some" of somebody, you can hear a little bit of a difference here. Now, of course, over the internet on YouTube, you might not be hearing all this subtlety.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me.
But when you do it at home, this is where you can really fine tune and get that really professional sound out of it. Okay, good. So.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me. She loves me. Yes, she does.
Good. All right, so we have a little bit of EQ. We have a little bit of compression on there. These type of things too, we're EQing the voice separately. Then we're going to EQ the guitar separately too. And then when the whole thing's done, we're going to probably EQ it and compress it again to just put everything together and glue it all together. So it's like you use these things once, twice, sometimes 3 times in a song. Compression and EQ. Right? Let me try something else. So we got that. That's sounding pretty good. Good job, Rick. And so now what we're going to do is address, it's very dry. And if we want to have it ring out and just kind of fill up the space a little bit, last a little bit longer. So to do that, we're going to use reverb. And in this particular package, in this preset that we selected, Classic Vocal, there's 2 different reverbs. The first one is a plate reverb, which I'm going to use first here. And the way I do that is I turn it up here. It's kind of like what they call a send. And this is how much reverb we're going to hear on his voice. So here's one.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me.
So very, very dry sounding. So now I'll turn it up as it's going. I'm going to keep it on that.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me. And if somebody loved me like she loved me. And if somebody loved me like she loved me.
Subtle, but you can hear it getting
and if somebody loved me like.
And now here's a second reverb.
And if somebody loved me like she loved me. And if somebody.
Now that one really you can hear, right? I mean, it sounds like he's in the other room. So that kind of puts him back. So the one reverb we have on there just to fatten up his voice a little bit. And then the other one we have to spread it out a bit. So we're using 2 reverbs.
And if somebody love me like she loved me.
So we don't want to use too much of this second one because it'll get in the way of the words. So that's what we're listening for, you know. Somebody like she loves me. We want to make sure that we can still hear all the words clearly.
And if somebody love me like she loved me.
There. And then finally, we also have an echo. Now, echoes aren't always like, hello, 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 you know, like in a Grand Canyon type of thing. Sometimes they're shorter. And this will, once again, kind of draw more attention to the voice, make it sound a little full.
And if somebody love me like she loved me.
So if I turn
and if somebody love me like she...
It was like, it's about probably, you know, 100 milliseconds, I'd say.
And if somebody love me like she loved me.
And so, you know what? I think that voice sounds better than it did when we started. So now we'll go and have a listen to the music bed. That's what we call it, bed. And so we're going to play. Okay, so that sounded pretty good. So here, it's mostly acoustic guitar, so I'm going to look at one of those presets. I think it would just sound a little fuller, a little more lush. And in here, there is a, well, here's a preset called Natural Stereo. Now, if you look down here, boy, it's very much like the one we had on the voice. Here's your compressor. So we're going to kind of even out the loud and soft. Here is the EQ, so we can brighten it up, make it a little more edgy maybe in the mid-range. And then here we have a stereo width, which is going to make it sound wider. Now, I don't know if you're going to hear all of this over on YouTube, but I'll turn these off and we'll play with them one at a time again. So that little section there, let's try it without compression. Hear the difference. Pretty subtle stuff. I can hear those little strums of the guitar, I think, just a little clearer at that point. And now I'm going to take the mid-range, and I'm not sure where I want to boost, so I'm going to turn it up really loud as far as it'll go. And then I'm going to take the frequency, like I'm going to go from high to low, and this is what we call sweeping the EQ. So we're going to hear it, you're going to hear it focus on different parts of the track. Okay, and we're going to see what we like. Now we're going to add a little of the reverb. us, see, when we're mixing, what we want to do is try and carve a hole for the vocal. So the vocal will be kind of right here, and music will be surrounding it. That's the idea, and the stereo width is doing a great job of that. So we'll pull that down a little bit more, and we'll listen.
Nobody ever loved me like she do. She do. Yes, she does. And if somebody loved me like she loved me, she loves me. Yes, she does. Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
Okay, so we're sounding pretty good. But you know, I think it could use just a little bit more. And so one of the other things that GarageBand will do, and Logic, is it has all kinds of software instruments in it. And I think that the original song has a little bit of electric piano in it. So we're going to add that. So we're going to go up here again to our little plus sign. And instead of making an audio track, this time we're going to make a software instrument. Okay, so I'm going to create that. And there's all kinds of different instruments in the library. It just so happened to default to an electric piano, which is what I was thinking of. But once again, we can, so I have a controller over here. It's a keyboard. And there we go. And so I'm playing on that. Once again, it's a keyboard. It plugs in USB, and then we can access our sounds here. So there's our electric piano. And yeah, I'm going to just try and play along just to show you some different things you can do with it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit record, and here we go.
Nobody ever loved me like she do. She do. Yes, she does. And if somebody loved me like she loved me, she loves me. Yes, she does. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Yeah.
Okay, so just a little electric piano in there. You could add strings, you can add drums, you can go nuts with this and keep on building. But I just want to show you, some other things that these programs that you already own will do for you. So we have
Nobody ever loved me like she do. She do. Yes, she does.
if you will, to the music, a little more bass, a little more bottom end. Okay, so we're almost there. So we have our vocal, we have our music bed, our instrumental, we added a little bit of piano to it. So now we're getting ready to pretty much finish it up. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the master tracker, the main output. Okay, and once again, we're going to add some more effects on here. So this is a preset called Basic, and it's pretty much what we've been talking about. Down here in the silver, I'm going to just loop this a little bit. And the goal here is to now get some volume out of it and a little fullness of it. So, it sounds similar to what you might hear on, Spotify, the radio, that sort of thing.
Nobody ever loved me like she do. She do. Yes, she does. this somebody love me like she loves me. She loves me. Yes, she does. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Yeah.
And so there we go with that. And now I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to get ready to share it with everybody. So this process is now called bouncing. So we have all the individual things. We've tweaked it. We've added our EQ and compression. So now we want to make a final product that we can hand out to our friends and post on Spotify and send MP3s. And once again, this is called bouncing. So what I've done here is I have this orange line that selects the whole song from beginning to end. Okay, and I'm going to go to my bounce menu here. Actually, this is the one thing where it differs a little bit in GarageBand. In GarageBand, there's a place up here called Share, and we would do an export to disk. Okay, so we just click on that. In GarageBand, it asks us to name it, and we have different file types. I'm going to say maybe an MP3 so I can send it to my friends. You should know though that the highest quality is going to be what they call a WAV file. So usually you want to save a WAV file, and then if you want to make a copy of it as an MP3, you can convert it to that. You can always down sample the song, meaning you can always make a smaller, not quite as good sounding version of it, but you can never make the not sounding good version to sound like the best. That made sense. Okay, good. So here we go, and we export that as a WAV file, or in this case over here in Logic, they call it bouncing. And once again, I can make it a WAV file over here. I like to use 24-bit. Sometimes you can go 16-bit, but 24 is pretty much the standard. And so this is actually going to make an MP3 and a WAV file for us. I hit OK. And finally, project, which in this case I put on my desktop. Good. Okay, so that's that. Boy. So I don't know if anybody has any questions on that. I don't know if anybody's there, but at any rate, I hope you got something out of this, and we'll be able to, view this afterwards. If you do have any questions, be glad to answer them now. If not, you can always subscribe down below. Please hit like. And if you have any ideas that you'd like for some of our future seminars, please write them down in the comment section below. We're always glad to hear from you. And yeah. If you have any questions also too, we do this is like a seminar. This is real basic. We have some very sophisticated programs as well on how to use this. And we have entire audio engineering classes. So if you're interested in anything of that nature, any of those classes, give us a call, 617-247-8689, or you can email at us at info@bristolstudios.com. Okay, so I'm not seeing any comments here, so I'm going to just say good night. Thank you very much. Hope you got something out of this. And once again, Bristol Studios, Chris Billias, thank you very much. Good night.